Bonjour, good morning, welcome all of you. So this morning we are going to have a beautiful topic from Savitri that is really on all is here a mystery of contraries. All here is a mystery of contraries. So we are finding the paradox here, contraries here, oppositions here. That is a great topic. We are going to discuss in the topic for some Savitri summarization session, that is book 10 canto 1, the dim twilight of the ideal. Here we are going to take, this is of course not a so big topic, very few lines are there. So from there we will try to have a brief summarization on this topic, the dim twilight of the ideal, focusing specially on the all here is a mystery of contraries. So let us go through. We have already seen. I will title this is the session of Savitri summarization, the dream twilight of the ideal. So book 10 canto 1. Here we are in the very first line we see, all still was darkness, dread, and desolate. All still was darkness, dread, and desolate. There was no change nor any hope of change. So, with this scenario, Savitri is actually moving fast, shifting upwards for following the footsteps of her so-called departed husband. I mean, now in the form and shape of the luminous Satyavan. A walk up to nowhere in a land of not. A walk to nowhere, capital N. In a land of not, that is also capital. Ever they drifted without aim or goal. No goal, no aim. Nowhere it is going, land of not. Gloom led towards gloom, depth to an emptier depth. In some positive non-beings, purposeless, vast through formless waste, dumb and unknowable, they are moving forward. Then we can find later sometime, later after we can find, it was as if she must pay now her debt. As if. It was as if she must pay now her debt, her vain presumption to exist and think, to some brilliant Maya that conceived the soul. Maya, the Maya is the veil of the absolute we have seen. So anyway, the claim to be a living fire of God, the will to be immortal and divine, that is what the description is there, we can find. She atoned for all sins, the first act when sprang the error of the consciousness of time. So later we can find, we can great little bit proceed forward. So a great negation was the real space. A great negation was the real space prohibiting the vain process of time. And when there was no world, no creation more, when time's intrusion has been blotted out, its last unbodied, saved from thought at peace. So we can go here. Her spirit, guilty of being wandered, doomed, moving forever through eternal night. Again, there is a description. We are going forward towards the contraries. But Maya is a veil of the absolute. Already I have spoken. Maya is the veil of the absolute. Maya, the skilled power finitizing the infinity, that is Maya. Then we can find Sri Aurobindo quotes here, spiritual thought is crammed in matter's forms. Unseen it throws out a dumb energy and works a miracle by a machine. That comes the beautiful description and contraries. All here is a mystery of contraries. Contraries, not only contraries, mystery of contraries. Darkness, a magic of self-hidden light. Suffering, some secret rapture's tragic mask. And death, an instrument of perpetual life. So the contraries we have taken. Darkness, a magic of self-hidden light. Suffering, some secret rapture's tragic mask. And death, an instrument of perpetual life. Then about, there is a big description on death we can find here. Although death walks beside us on life's road, it walks beside us. A dim bystander at the body start. When it started, the psychic being is very active, very luminous, illumined. So it is a dim bystander at the body start. And the last judgment of man's futile works as he moves on, as he actually progresses. then actually this futility of work is very much foreseen. So it is the last judgment. Other is a riddle of its ambiguous face. Death is a still then there is a utility of death, better utility of death here in the courts. Death is a stair, a door, a stumbling stride. The soul must take to cross from birth to birth, must take to cross from birth to birth a great defeat, pregnant with victory. Initially, it seems as if a defeat, but actually it is pregnant with defeat, pregnant with victory. I am sorry. So when there is time for the conceiving woman to give birth to a child, that time actually some grayness you can find in her face, under the eyes, but that produces a great result, and a great child infant is takes birth. The whip to lash us towards our deathless state, from death towards our deathless state. Death is the whip. The inconscient world is the spirit's self-made room. That is where the see the contrariety. The inconscient room is the spirit's self-made room. Eternal night, shadow of eternal day. Night is not our beginning nor our end. She is the stark mother in whose womb we have hid, safe from too swift a waking to world pain. So we came to her from a supernal light. By light we live, and to the light we go. That is the very phenomenon of life. By light we live, and to the light we go. Here in the seat of darkness, mute and alone, in the heart of the everlasting nothingness, light again conquered now, even by the feeble beam. So later we can find a golden fire came in and burned night's heart. A golden fire came in and burned night's heart. Her dusky mindlessness began to dim. There is a upward way, upward luminosity we can find. Inconscient conscious grew. Night felt and thought. Assailed in the sovereign emptiness of its reign, the intolerant darkness peeled and drew apart. Again we can find okay, let us the only a few black remnants stained that ray, but on a failing edge the dome lost space. Still a great dragon body sullenly loomed. Now anyway, how far we have till this point we have gone. Let us now summarize few lines, then we'll go for the next topic of discussion. In this land already we have seen this is book 10 canto 1, the dream twilight of the ideal. In this land of naught they drift without goal through dumb ways. There is no goal. An effective beam of light follows them. Effective beam of light follows them. It is as if Savitri has to pay for the sin of having presumed to live and to think, and for having dared to will to be divine. Three points is well noted here. Because she has presumed to live, second, to think, third, for having dared to will to be divine. For that actually she is paying her debt. In that formidable darkness, she atones for the original revolt of consciousness. She atones for original revolt of consciousness in nature that broke the seal of sleep of ignorance. She has condemned to wander through eternal night. Then about the description of Maya we have already seen. But Maya is only a veil of the absolute. Veil of the absolute, that is Maya. And occult truth has made this great world. Occult truth has made this great world. There is an intelligence that works through the paradox of contraries. There is an intelligence that works through the paradox of contraries, paradox, enigma. Already we have seen darkness, suffering, death, and all. By light we come, and to the light we go. Already we have seen and discussed. Slowly the darkness pales. Slowly the darkness pales, and the struggling dawn appears. Savitri finds herself in a new happy twilight world. She finds herself in a new happy twilight world where everything is vague. Vague scenes, vague spirits, vague melodies, elusive forms, everything are vague, because already we have known that new twilight world, everything is vague. Nothing is fixed, nothing stays, and yet there is a strange consistency of shapes. There is a sweetness and an appeal that are unearthly, sweetness and appeal that are unearthly, strange consistency. It is a world of enchantment and strange fleeting joys. That is what we are going to have a look. Have a look, then we'll come to the summarization portion. There is a morning twilight of the gods, miraculous from sleep, their forms arise, and the gods' long nights are justified by dawn. So we can into a happy misty twilight world again, twilight world, happy twilight world where all ran after light and joy and love. She slept. They are far of raptures due, more close and deep anticipations of delight. Then we can find that the description of the vague we talked of there. Vague fields were there, vague pastures, gleamed vague trees, vague scenes dim-hearted in a drifting haze, then vague cattle, white roamed glimmering through the mist, vague spirits wandered with a bodiless cry, vague melodies touched the soul and fled pursued into harmonious distances unceased. So after that we can find but nothing was fixed or stayed for long. That natural inhabitants of this that world, these fugitive beings, these elusive shapes, were all that claimed the eye and made the soul. These natural inhabitants of the world, what is how it is described. Nothing was there fixed or stayed for long. No mortal feet could rest upon that soil. No breath of life lingered embodied there. In that fine chaos, joy played dancing past, and beauty evaded the settled line and form, and hid its sense in the mysterious hue. So things are changing like this. So, a spirit of purity and elusive presence of fairy beauty and ungrasped delight, whose momentary and escaping thrill, however unsubstantial to our flesh and brief even in imperishableness, much sweeter seemed than any rapture known, earth or all-conquering heaven can ever give. So, heaven, and there is a big description, big comparison. Heaven, ever young, and the earth, too firm and old, delay the heart by immobility. So we can go a little bit ahead. Here in the quotes, they are too intimate with eternal things, vessels of infinite significance. They are too clear, too great, too meaningful. So we can go because there is a great description all contented here. They mingle in a passion and pursuit, thrilled with a spray of joy, too slight to tire. Again, we find some hints, then here in the quotes here. A charm of bodiless touches felt and hard. A charm of bodiless touches felt and heard, a sweetness as of voices high and dim. Then, calling like travelers upon the seeking winds, melodiously with an alluring cry. So there is a comparison also we can find here, as if a music old yet ever new, moving suggestions upon her heartstrings dwelt. Thoughts that no habitation found yet clung with passionate repetition to her mind. Desires that hurt not, happy only to live, always the same and always unfulfilled. Desire always same unfulfilled, sang in the breast like a celestial lyre. Thus all could last, yet nothing ever be. So nothing ever be. In this beauty of as of mind made visible, so there rest in its rays of wonder. Satyavan before her seemed the center of its charm. Satyavan who seemed the center of its charm, head of her loveliness of loving, longing dream, and the captain of her fancies of her soul. Just imagine how Satyavan is described. Head of her loveliness of longing dreams, captain of her fancies of her will. So they can find the somber shadow sullen, implacable, made beauty and laughter more imperative. His dark contrast, edging ideal light, deepened unuttered meanings to the heart. Pain grew a trembling undertone of bliss. There is a little bit change towards the end. Pain grew a trembling undertone of bliss and transience immortalities, a floating hymn. A moment's robe in which she looked more fair, its antithesis sharpening with divinity. Antithesis sharpening with divinity. A comrade of the ray and the mist and the flame, a comrade of ray and the mist and the flame, by a moonbright face, a brilliant moment drawn. Almost she seemed a thought mid floating thoughts, thought mid floating thoughts. Then we can go, seen hardly by a visionary mind amid the white inward musings of the soul. Everything relates to soul, nothing outward. So while she moved on an enchantment soil, while she moved on an enchantment soil, but still remained possessor of her soul. Again, second time it has been learned, enchantment of soil and possessor of her soul. Musing of her, amid the white inward musings of the soul, but still remained possessor of her soul. Above her spirit in its mighty trance, above her spirit in its mighty trance saw all, but lived for its transcendent task. Then what happened? Everything, seeing everything, but actually thing is that she has a transcendent task she has to pursue, to fulfill, to accomplish. Immutable like a fixed eternal star. That's brilliant. Really strengthening lines we can find, and towards the end we'll try to come to the concluding session. Savitri walks through this realm besieged by bodiless touches. Walks through this realm besieged by the bodiless touches but bodiless touches. Alluring cries that are alluring, impending thoughts and unhurting desires. Unhurt desires hurting not. Thoughts that is actually impinging. Satyavan is there as the center of this charm. Already we have seen, we have discussed. Satyavan is there as the center of this charm. Even the dreadful majesty of death's face does not affect this intangible luster of the sky. Intangible luster of the sky, there is, you can find the presence of this dreadful majesty of death's face, but actually it is unaffected. It is not affecting at all. Savitri almost seems to be in as slight as a thought made floating thoughts. She seems thought made floating thoughts, but she possesses her soul with throughout. Everything is related. She is well aware of the thoughts and all. Her spirit above watches all, and lives on for its high task. Well aware, I have to cross over, I have to accomplish my goal, I am a mission child, I am here to fulfill my mission. So her spirit above watches all and lives on for its high task she has to perform. Immutable like a fixed and eternal star. Immutable like a fixed eternal star. She is adamant, she is going to fulfill her ambition. That is what the topic of right now we have seen. Above her spirit in its mighty trance saw all, but lived for its transcendent task, immutable like a fixed eternal star. That is a great description. Really, we can find the things relating to spirit and the soul. We are finding here. That is the kingdom. Already we have seen. That is the realm, bodiless touches, alluring cries, impinging thoughts, and unhurting desires. So many beautiful lines we can find later on. Let us go to the point where really we started here. That adversary of the slow struggling dawn, defending its ground of tortured mystery, it trailed its coils through the dread murdered air, and curving fled down a grey slope of time. From here we can have the great description like, by light we live and to the light we go. So night is not our beginning nor our end. She is the dark mother in whose womb we have hid, safe from too swift a waking to world pain. We came to her from a supernal light. By light we live and to the light we go. About the mystery of contraries, finally I want to quote it again. Sri Aurobindo, what Sri Aurobindo's magnificence and magnificent hand has written here. That's what the formula we want to put before you. All here is a mystery of contraries. All here is a mystery of contraries, darkness, a magic of self-hidden light, suffering, some secret raptures, tragic mask, and death, an instrument of perpetual life. Although death walks beside us on life's road, a dim bystander at the body start and the last judgment on man's futile works. Other is the riddle of its ambiguous face. Death is a stair, a door, a stumbling stride. The soul must take to cross from birth to birth, a great defeat pregnant with victory. Vande Mataram.